What's up, guys? Check this out. So I washed my car, and since I washed my car, I've driven it maybe 7 or 8 miles. Y'all see that? Let's get a good look at this. 7 miles, maybe 8. Betsy Blue has some issues. Guys, I've been chasing my tail for probably the past 30 or 45 minutes. Y'all can see I've got long wheel studs, and I only have one socket in my garage, in my tools that'll take these wheels off, and I couldn't find it. Dadgummit, I am my own worst enemy. Anyways, if you got long wheel studs, as you know, you need this, and you really need it in your car more than you need it in your toolbox. Note to self, that was for me. Alright guys, we're looking minty fresh. New rotor, new pads, new caliper. Just kind of makes me sick that the money I spent on that could have gone towards changing the cam. The back end's down on the ground. Got the brakes bled, and wife helped me with that. Thank her. Now I got the front end up. I'm changing the clutch cable, and this one, the factory cable, is super draggy. So maybe I can blame all my missed gears on this guy. But so I've got another cable. I've got just a replacement cable going, adjustable, and it doesn't have, well, it didn't have the bolts, or I mean the nuts, or that little taper deal that kind of slides in the clutch fork. So I'm gonna have to do some rigging for that. I think what I'm gonna do is cut this off. It'll focus. I'm gonna cut that off and drill it out and put that on this cable. Alright, so I used a cut-off wheel and I cut this part off. See, it's shiny. Kinda. Anyway, so got that hole there. Step outside. Better light. Got that hole there, so I'm gonna start drilling that thing out until I get it big enough to slip over the adjustable part of the cable. Alright guys, I got it. I stepped it up, probably started out with a real small drill bit and probably went up 5 sizes before I got it right. There it is, man. And it's OEM quality. Look at that. That'll work. So anyways, if you run into a situation like that, you just use the factory little ball end, just drill it out and put it on your adjustable cable. Maybe that'll help you, maybe not. Anyways, and more problems in paradise. I think this is either a JEGS or a Zoom cable, and with the firewall thing off of it, it does not slip into my Summit Racing firewall adjuster. So I'm just going to take the firewall adjuster off and just put the firewall like it normally does with the adapter back on there. Always something. Alright guys, the clutch cable saga continues. I put a new cable on it about a week ago, and it was terrible. Still really stiff. So I decided to look under the dash at the quadrant, and as I looked up, I saw that my quadrant was almost off the little studs that come off. So the alignment was off. It wasn't pulling on the cable straight. So I shifted it over. I think I went over too far, and it was still awful. And now this morning before I went to work, I crawled under there and just kind of gazed up there and tried to look at my cable in relationship to the quadrant and see if it's straight. And I got as straight as I could. Pedal effort is still the same. It's really stiff. This happened the other day. I went and made a rip on it, and I did a 1-2 shift and then let out of it and coasted, And then I went to put it in first, and the pedal felt so weird. So I don't know what I did to it. The throwout bearing's been screaming at me for a while. I don't know if that would do it. Um, but anyways, I'm about to pull the cable off, and I'm gonna oil the cable. I saw another video on YouTube where a guy did this, and he was very happy with it. This is a cheaper cable, so it may benefit from a little extra oil in there. Um, I hope so. If this doesn't fix it, I'll be pulling the transmission soon. So stay tuned. All right, guys. Here's a little tip for you. I've got my clutch cable adjusted how I want it, and I don't want to lose the adjustment. I mean, I could readjust it, but I don't want to. So I took a C clamp here. I'm barely hooked right here on the bell housing and on the clutch fork. I just spun it and tightened up on that, and that way I can release the tension on the cable and not lose the adjustment. So maybe that's helpful for you. You can, with this, I mean, you're barely holding on the fork and on the bell housing, but it's it'll work on if you don't want to lose your adjustment. That's a tip. That was a lot of words for not a really good tip. Anyways, there you go. All right, guys. Another tip for you. If you are replacing a good stock cable and quadrant, just kind of like preventive maintenance or whatever, before you change your stock stuff out, measure between your fork and this opening, and that way when you put your adjustable cable on there, you can copy the factory setting. So at least that'll give you a starting point. All right, guys, I got the cable disconnected. I'm gonna use this little gem. It's a leftover. Surely it's good. You know, it's Lucas, so it'll be kind of thick and sticky. It should stay in there pretty decent. We will find out. If it doesn't work good, I'll let you know. But yeah, since power steering is basically hydraulic oil, will this turn this clutch into a hydraulic clutch? Mysteries. JK. I will say that when the cable was hanging on the shelf, it slid more free than it does now. So I may look at seeing if I can feed this cable in a different fashion. So what I'm doing right now is just kind of drawing it up and down, trying to let the oil kind of work down, because it'll fill up. The oil's filling up here in the top. So anyways, kind of a slow process, but hopefully we'll get some good results. Just FYI, from what I've read and also from what I've experienced, your best cable is a factory Ford cable. If you can't get a factory Ford cable, then a Maximum Motorsports, they have good reviews. I've never bought one. They're a little more pricey, but you do get what you pay for. So if you do want to use a stock cable, you're going to need to use a firewall adjuster with it. So just do a little research first. Alright, guys, well, I switched to motor oil. That Lucas is just too dang thick. So put a couple more drippity drips in there. Feed the beast. Give us some love. Well, guys, that took a little while. It probably took 10 minutes. Y'all see, I don't know if y'all see it. It's got a hint of red. I think using Lucas may have been a mistake, but it definitely took a while. But it is gone. It's all the way through the cable now, top to bottom, and I can tell the difference. And y'all see that? Yeah, the cable will almost fall down. Yeah, it'll go on its own weight now, where before I was having to push it. So, wow, look at that. Ooh-wee. I know that's exciting for y'all. Anyway, so I'm gonna wipe this part off where it goes up in the car. It'd be okay if it has a little residual. I don't think it's gonna hurt anything. But definitely you don't want it dripping on your carpet or down on any pedals. But I guess if you did get a little bit of oil on your gas pedal, you'd be telling the truth next time you get pulled over. Man, my foot slipped on the pedal. I don't know what you're talking about. JK, LOL. Anyways, let's get this thing back together and see if I'll be driving this thing tomorrow. What's up, guys? So I just finished putting the cable back on the quadrant, and it's in the fork like it's supposed to be. Let me tell y'all, night and day. I cannot believe the difference. Shout out. I don't know this guy. I just watched his little clip on this. I got this information off of XX65XX. So whoever you are, thank you so much. Night and day, guys. Being totally honest, I've already got a flywheel and a clutch disc on the way, and I've got a throwout bearing sitting in my toolbox. I was already kind of ready to pull this transmission out and see what was up. I was thinking maybe my throwout bearing was like kind of twisted on the bearing retainer, or maybe my bearing retainer's galled it up or something. I figured it was something in there. Maybe a clutch fork was jacked up somehow, but night and day. So before you buy a cable, try that. It took me about 10 minutes sitting there dripping oil in the top of the cable and working the cable up and down, just kind of drawing it up and down. Night and day. I am tickled to death. Get to drive this thing again. So that's awesome. I can put off pulling the transmission till a little bit later. I do have a question for y'all. I've got a Tremec 3550 to go in this car, and it's a Fox bell housing, or Fox style bell housing, and I've got SN95 long tube headers. Do any of y'all know if you can run a Fox transmission or a Tremec with SN95 headers, or if you have to use Fox headers? I do know that Fox headers will not go on a SN. I've already tried that. I tried a set of Mack long tubes on this car. It was a no-go. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope this helps y'all. More to come. Got some work I'm going to be doing on the 88. But our state is Alabama. We are shut down. I'm still going to work. I've got a letter I have to keep in my truck to prove that I'm legitimately going to work and that where I work is in the parameters. But there was a stick shift shootout. It's supposed to be April 25th. I don't know if it's still going to happen. I really hope it does. Hope I can be there. But we'll catch you later, guys. Hang in there. I hope y'all are getting some work done on your project, or at least getting to spend some time with your families. It's a stressful time. Stress can bring out the best in you, or it can bring out the worst in you. I hope it's bringing out the best in you. Anyways, y'all take care. We'll see you soon.